Shalom Rastafari, Assalamu alaikum, peace to the kings and the queens of the earth. How's everybody doing at the beginning of this week? Hope everyone had a great weekend and you're staying safe, staying cool or warm, whatever comfortable temperature you want to be at. And also you got food, shelter, food, and clothing. Just know that a lot of people don't even have those little things. So if you have those little things, you are, blessed beyond belief, even if you don't know it. Today I want to talk about the Ital lifestyle. I'm kind of breaking up my series into 3 parts, right? Where Monday I might talk about more holistic or religious subjects. Wednesday I probably go more into Black history. And then Friday it could be whatever. It could be story time. It could be a book review that I just read, things of that nature. But today we're going to go into the Ital lifestyle, what it really means to me. Ital lifestyle, the definition of Ital is it could be holistic, it could be vegan, it could be alkaline, it could be plant-based, but really it's a holistic entire approach to your life. It's not just what you're ingesting. As far as food, it's also what you keep around you. It's also how you medicate yourself. It's also what you ingest visually, spiritually, and mentally. So I'll get into that right now. Really, the Ital motivation started even before I really got deep into my Rastafari faith. I was starting to really understand things in around 2014 and 15, especially when I was doing music. And I really wanted to continue to get to the faith. And when I got back from Jamaica, during those times, even the twice, I really felt it was like part of what my journey was going to be. Not that I wanted to change myself into something, but I felt like I was always Rastafari. One, I always had a love for animals. I had a really big soft spot for animals. 2, I always wanted to be healthy. I came up in an athletic type of steez where I played football, basketball, and even ran track in high school. Obviously, I played football in college and professional. I even played basketball for a year professionally. So health was always a thing or a passion of mine because I was forced to be healthy if I wanted to be the best athlete I could be and perform on the field or on the court. So the Ital lifestyle was never even, inside of me then, but it was just more of I knew I wanted to eat healthier. And back then, in those days, our education as far as what is healthy wasn't there, right? It wasn't available to us. And that wasn't an excuse. However, it was the beginning of something that I just didn't, know I was completely blind to, put it that way. And so it really kind of started off with when I became and really started studying the faith. And it became when I went back to Jamaica as an adult, right? Because I've been there all my life as a child from 2 to 18. But when I went back as an adult, in my early 30s, I really started studying the definitions. I had a job where I was able to just take incoming calls, right? So some incoming calls, emails or calls. So sometimes it would get dead, obviously, at some dead time. And I just started studying the definitions and really reading about Rastafari, about the faith, about the Jamaican influence, what this is all about. And I kind of knew that this is something that I've always been a part of, just haven't really fully lived the life in that definition. So when I became really Rastafari, and I became into that point of becoming especially vegan, I really went to that Ital and I really started studying everything possible as far as what you ingest. And really Ital is really natural, all right? Anything from the earth should not be killed and should be reverenced. And the earth can heal you. So the word is also natural, Ital, natural. It's not just about food, but it's just an entire lifestyle. Again, reasons, really Rasta, health, and my purpose and faith. To not kill anything, to try not to kill anything as much as possible, to not obviously eat of the flesh. And this is just me. Again, this is just things that my personal opinion. This is why Rastafari, this is what we are. And I know there's some Rastas that even eat fish. And, I know some people who call themselves Rasta who eat chicken off the bone. Like I don't know what that is, but overall, if you're really living that Ital lifestyle, you are trying not to ingest anything that is dead, and you're trying to uphold anything that is alive. So how I feel versus then and versus now, I feel great. I feel great. I was definitely heavier, thicker. Lord knows how my stomach was. I think I did a good job sometimes of really eating healthy, but it wasn't really on. I always want to say, okay, make sure you get your vegetables. And I probably definitely wasn't really having much fruit as to my journey now. So the more I became Ital really 2017, 18, really 2018, really. I was studying it and looking into it. And I remember December 29th, 2018 was the last time I ate meat. It was chicken tenders from Bachi Pizza. I'm sorry, not Buca, Bachi Pizza out there in downtown Buffalo. And I remember it wasn't good. I do remember that. It was kind of like the chicken was it wasn't as crispy as I liked, right? So I kind of liked the fact that I left having that last chicken tender, that last piece of meat, knowing it left a bad taste in my mouth because of the simple fact that I would never really want to eat it ever again. And now that's what I do. I would never eat meat. I would never eat anything that is of the flesh or dead, no dairy, and keep it as clean as possible. Keep yourself as clean as possible. That's all. That's why you invest in the herbs. That's why you invest in things like sea moss. That's why you continue to study. If there's anything better than sea moss, there's, other things I've heard of, especially in the Afrocentric situation. There's a lot of Eastern medicine that we do not research or know about over here. And there's websites that, as far as holistic healing, that you can go on to for any ailment and pretty much cure it through the natural source of the earth, and that is Ital. All right, so that's when you see a thing called the Ital kitchen. That means there's no completely vegan, completely clean. When you see things like I'm living an Ital lifestyle, they're trying to be as clean as possible, right? They try not to ingest any death, and they try not to give out death either. So give love and don't ingest anything that's deadly. And here's the thing also too, this is not a judgment, to anyone. If you're not living a lifestyle, does not mean you're not clean. Okay. I've read the Ingest, which is the book of the King of the Kings in Ethiopia. And they talked about the prophets, eating meat. They talked about when King Solomon met Queen Sheba, he purposely gave her, salty meats so she would be thirsty later, so you can take advantage of her in a situation that you gotta, I'll talk about that later. But, I remember my mom also stating things like, the prophets ate meat. And I'm like, yeah, you're right. But the thing about it is those are the days when the world was much cleaner, when animals completely outnumbered human beings. So in turn, you're eating probably some different type of meat, right? Whereas now you really have to be careful. Farms and high ratings and just pumping them out like a factory. Obviously, they're putting specific things into these meats, so you have to be careful what meat you eat. And when it comes to the Ital lifestyle, you just we've already gotten to that point of, when you have locks and you become Rastafari, you basically deny world standards, correct? You don't really fuck with the world like that. And whatever the world does and the basic stuff, you don't really follow that. You don't follow really anyone but Jah. And these are the things that are told to us. It was even confirmed by King Selassie I, who said, leave the Rastafari alone, they know what they're doing, and teaching us personally what to do and how to continue to rise up and hold the faith. And so the Ital lifestyle can be not just the Rastafari, I think it could be any person who really wants to keep themselves clean and eat clean, be clean, as possible, and not kill. That is the Ital lifestyle. So anybody can really get it. You don't have to be Rastafari to live Ital. Okay, you could just be a good person in your heart. You don't want to kill things. Again, if you want to eat meat, that's your choice. That's not Ital, but there's other things you can do that is Ital. So try to be Ital when you can. How about that? Leave this podcast with that. Try to be Ital in spirit and in truth. And if you can get to that level of not eating meat, that's your choice, right? In this day and age, if you ask me, what would people rather do? I'd rather you not eat it because of the fact of how tough it is to get good meat nowadays. And me personally, I'll never eat it again. If I was a meat eater, I would be I don't know where I would even buy my meat from, to be honest with you. I don't even know where I would eat it. I'd have to go to I don't even know. It'd be a very expensive habit, to be honest with you. So, Ital lifestyle, live it when you can, and maybe you get fully to it, but just know it has nothing to do with just the food you eat. It's way, way more than that. It's the soap that you wash your body with. It's, again, the water you try to drink. It's the things you try to, again, ingest mentally, the music you listen to, the people who you hang out with, right? If they're dirty in spirit and you're not Ital. So Ital is very important. Much love for y'all. Have a great week, and I'll talk to y'all soon.